Hello my friends, hello and welcome back to my channel. It is Carrie from Coffee and Crafts and today is Sunday Fun Day. So what do we need for Coffee and Crafts? Well, first of all, we need coffee, and boy do I have some delicious coffee. What am I drinking today? The same thing I've been drinking for the last month or so, which is Starbucks caramel Keurig cups made from my Ninja coffee maker. So let's give it a little sip. That is so good. If you want to support me by buying me a coffee or two, I will put a link to my Amazon wish list in the description. What are some other ways you can support me that don't cost any money? And I actually appreciate even more. Just you being here. Just you being here and viewing my video helps so much. Also, if you want to like, comment, even subscribe. Speaking of subscribing, we had the goal of 130 subscriptions and we exceeded that goal. And now, at the making of this video, we are at 131. So thank you to my newcomers and those who have stuck it out with me. Our next goal is 140. So if you are hanging out here and you haven't subscribed, what are you waiting for? Please help me get my algorithm up so that I can reach more people so that they too can enjoy Sunday Fun Day. All right, so what else do we need for Coffee and Crafts? Well, we need crafts. So we've been doing Legos for the last couple weeks. I've decided that it's time. It's time, you guys. I put a poll out a couple of weeks ago asking, do you want me to start diamond painting again? I have done some diamond painting in the past and everyone seemed to enjoy it. And you spoke, I listened. So guess what? We are starting a diamond painting today. That's right. I ordered it from Diamond Painting Pro. Unleash your creativity and melt away the stress with us. It is very relaxing and enjoyable to see the picture develop. And if you can't do it yourself, enjoy watching me do it. Yeah. So, what kind of diamond painting did I get? Well, the poll spoke and I listened. So, big reveal. Here's my diamond painting. Butterflies! You guys chose butterflies, and this is the diamond painting that I picked out. Isn't it pretty? It has this nice, it's got a lot of different colors. It has 35 colors, in fact. And it's got oranges and blues and greens and some browns for the branches, some pink for the cherry blossoms, some blue sky, and it gives me total Van Gogh vibes. I love the Van Gogh scenes, and this really reminded me of that, and I just think it's beautiful. So that's what we're gonna be starting. So we have our diamond painting. What else do we need? Well, we need what they call drills. And they come in a package like this. So why are they called drills? I have no idea. Maybe because you drill them. You drill them on. I don't know. I don't know why they call them drills. If you know in the comments, let me know. But these are what the diamonds are. This is the diamonds. They are not made out of diamonds, though, sad to say. Can you imagine? That would be something. These are made out of a very high quality called resin. A very high quality plastic called resin. So let's go ahead. Okay, there's going to be some crinkling in this video, so if that bothers you, you know, maybe step away for a minute and come back. But I apologize if the crinkling bothers you, but there's going to be some ASMR in this video, and part of that is crinkly noises. So it's got this glue, and as you can see, I haven't opened it yet. We're opening it together. Okay, so it just has this plastic that it's like a giant Ziploc bag. And then tip it out. And here are all the diamonds. Okay, we'll get rid of this plastic. Alex would go nuts with that. If you don't know, Alex is my cat. So if I refer to him, he's my fur baby. All right, so we got all these pretty colors. And you will notice that there is a number attached to the label here. And we are doing what is called a kit up today. So we're not actually going to do any diamond painting, but we are preparing the diamond painting so that we can start diamond painting next week. So there's a little label here. Now you could just work right out of the bag, put it into a tray. Typically you have a tray. Let's see. Let me show you this one. In the past I have used a tray like this, and it has little grooves, and you pour the diamonds in, and then you shake it, and they all line up in these grooves, and then you take your pin and you stab them. Very violent hobby, really. All right, so, but what I'm going to do today is I want to try out some new trays that I purchased. And I am kind of getting ahead of myself. Before I get into the trays, I've explained to you what these are. These are all the drills, and they're labeled. And you could keep them in the bag and then just use a tray like this. Use a tray like that. But that's not what we're going to do today. You can do that if you want. So also that came in the kit is this accessory kit. So you get everything you need. So it's really a pretty inexpensive hobby. Of course, we can make it more complicated, more expensive by buying special items, but it really can be a pretty inexpensive hobby. So it comes with tweezers. It has this pin that you can use. It even has a gripper on it. It's got some different attachments if you want a multi-piece. It has this sticky that you put on the pin, and that's what allows you to pick up the drill. And it has this nice white tray. These white trays, when you get one of these, save them. They are really good. The ridges are high, and they just do a really great job. And they come with the kit. They're free. Of course, I like to make things complicated, and I am a craft snob. So what are we doing today? So that's everything that came with the kit. So what are we doing today? Let's push this off to the side, and I will show you. This is the tray system that I want to try out today. It is from ArtDot. I love ArtDot. They have a lot of cool storage system items and different things, just depending on what you prefer. I was using their drawers before, and then you put them into a vial, and then you transfer it to a tray. But this system, you store it and use the same tray. So there's no transfer, no sneaky transferring. No. So I'm so excited to try this out. And incidentally, you can get that in a 15-piece set or a 60-piece set. And the sets, what do they look like? So you have this smaller one, and let me grab one of the larger ones. I should have had that out. I apologize. I just now decided, oh, you might want to see the larger one. This is what I would call a big boy. So this is much larger. You only get about 12 of these or so, and then the rest are the smaller size. So you definitely want to use the smaller size when you have a small bag like this. I would use a small size. But then this black one, there's always a lot of black. It has a much bigger bag. If you compare the size, it's a much bigger bag. So this one I will put in the larger tray. All right. So what's next to be able to kit up? We need to figure out a labeling system to keep track of these in these trays. Now, fortunately for us, ArtDot included the DMC colors for labeling your trays. So you put this on the label or on the tray, and that way you can keep track of it. Now, DMC has like, I can't remember how many. It's like over 100 different colors. So do you want to buy 100 sets of these? Do you want to buy 100 of these? Most people don't. You could, and then you, as you go, you would always have a tray. That's a lot. So I'll show you what I'm gonna do. I've purchased, let's see if I can find it here. I've purchased these labels, and they got that little film filigree coloring on them. So I don't know if they're the best ones to choose for this, but they are numbered 1 through 100. So I'm going to use these to put on the tray, and I have 2 sheets, so I'm going to put one on the lid and one on the container. Now let's take a closer look at the container. You might think, oh, I have trouble with opening things, difficult, but let me tell you, these are really easy to open, and it's very secure, especially if you had a pet. So I highly recommend that. So all you do, there's a little notch here, and all you do is you just stick your fingernail in there. I'm not putting pressure or anything, just stick your fingernail in there to create a little bit of separation, and it pops right out. Now you could kind of push it and it'll open it, but I'm kind of afraid I might break it if I do that. So I recommend just stick your fingernail right there. I don't even have long fingernails, you guys. They're short. So just stick your fingernail there. There's no discomfort. And then you take your thumb and just kind of pop it out. All right, so we need to label these, right? So how are we gonna label them? Well, we've got a lid and a base. So this is what I've decided. If your lid is off, how would you might get a little confused. You might get lost. So that's why the 2 sheets. I'm going to put one on top and one on the bottom. So that's what we're going to do right now. This is part of kitting up. So we're going to go through how many. That's a good question. That is a good question. Well, on your diamond painting, you have a key. So let's talk about that. You have a number on the left there in red. That's how many colors we have. So we have 35. In the middle is the symbol that's actually on the painting, and then to the right is the DMC number. So totally up to you if you want to use the DMC number or the number of drills, 1 through 35. We're going to do 1 through 35. I think that will make it so that you can reuse the trays for different kits, and as you finish them, of course, and then you don't have to keep labeling them. All right, so we need 35 labels, so that's what we're gonna do now. So sit back and relax, enjoy the music, and watch me label these. So we already have one. To the next phase. So we have our 1 through 35 containers labeled. The only thing I didn't think about is on this large black bag, we're going to need to use the big container, and that will be number 3. So I think I'm just going, I only have a dozen of those, so I think I'm just going to do that as needed for the large containers. So let's go ahead and label a large container. Let me grab one over here. Okay. So we will discard this one. I mean, the other option could be if you didn't have a large container or you didn't want to use a different size, you could pour some of the bag in here and then fill it up as you go. Maybe that's what we should do. It is a little easier to dump all of them. I think I'm going to use the large one just because I've never tried it. So let's find, oh, I would have to buy more number 3 labels. So for now, I think we'll just use the small one. But this is an option. I just didn't think ahead. All right. Yeah, so that's what we'll do. All right, so how do you pour? What's the best way to pour? So let's pull up tray number 1. We're gonna go ahead and open it. There's a couple of options. You can get one of these funnels, and I ordered this off of, it's actually designed for an Elizabeth Ward container. I ordered this off of Etsy, and it's just got this pretty blue and green sparkly colors on it. And so you could hold it over this and pour it in there to make sure you don't spill. I'm not too worried about these, so we might try both. So let's start with, so we'll grab the bag that says 1, and it says AB on it. So AB stands for Aurora Borealis, which is some of the prettiest lighting in the world. If you have ever seen Aurora Borealis, it is definitely a treat. So what it means is it has this extra shiny sparkles, and they usually place those around eyes or maybe the center of a flower or something like that you want it to sparkle. All right, so we'll open this bag. Easier said than done. My hands might be a little dry. We're in that weird transition time of year. There. So it's a small Ziploc bag. So you just take that, you take the tray, and here's some more ASMR. Just pour it into the tray. There, I think I got them all. Now they do, if you have an incident, try not to have an incident. But if you do, they do give a little bit of overage, not a lot, but a little bit. So I would still try to be careful, but don't panic if you lose a few. Okay, so you have this pile here, and then you just give it a little, shake like that. Shaky, shaky. And kind of tip it to get some of the excess out of the way. And as you can see, it is lining up some of your drills. And you can kind of tap it. Drag it with your finger if you want. But it even lines up 3 at a time. Do you see that? Can you see? It lines up 3 at a time. So if you are a 3-placer, this would be a cool device for you. So we keep this in this container. So there's no transferring. So that's going to be huge. All right, so let's go ahead and go through all 35 together. Okay, we are all done kitting up the drills. Are we all done? No, not quite. But we are all done getting up the drills. So I want to talk about a little bit about my experience with these drills. So I don't know if you noticed, but I got some dryer sheets out. I cut them down to size, and oh, I'm kind of zoomed in. Let's zoom out a little bit. We can talk a little easier. And I can show you things. Yeah, like, so now I can show you. It's still pretty zoomed in, but better. All right, so I just had these in the shelf. So why did I do that? Why did I take dryer sheets? And, well, sometimes, let's see, I think 11 was a bad one that I did not fix. So I will demonstrate to you what is going on. So sometimes you get what is called static in drills when you first empty them out of the container, and a good solution to that is a dryer sheet. So you cut a little dryer sheet down to size like I did on, let's see, on 8. I did that on 8 because there was actually drills coming outside of the tray because there was static cling. They were trying to cling to things that they shouldn't. So so if you put a little dryer sheet in there and shake it around, press it around, it should help calm it down. You might have to let it sit in there, but notice how on these drills, I'm hoping you can see that. Can you see how the top part is clinging to the top? And it's just a royal pain in the butt to work with. You can kind of see that. Let's see if I can tip the ones on the bottom. So see how there's some, those are clinging to the top of the lid. And that means they have static. And they're just going to be really difficult to work with on your painting. So I definitely highly recommend picking up a dryer sheet and fabric softener sheet, it could be called also. So just in your department store, nothing special, Target, Walmart, you know, maybe even the dollar store would have them. And I just leave it in the tray and shake it around, and you can press the dryer sheet down onto the drills too, and that kind of helps break up the static. So that I wanted to explain that. And then I also felt like some of these bags, they're really bulging. Even though it's a small bag, like it's really bulging. So there's like over 5 grams of drills in here, even though it's small. And then of course we had our big boy bag of black that we get to do. That one, I don't even know, like 20 grams, I think. So you can go 2 routes. One, you could stick with your small sizes and just put in some of the bag in here. Well, you could go 3 routes. You could just put some of the bag in here and then store the bag until you're ready for more. That's one choice. A second choice would be just to fill it up, and then you would be shaking a lot to clear the ones that are lined up. You know, this would fill up quite a bit. The third option is kind of what I might lean towards, and that would be to pull out your larger tray. Now, the reason I didn't do that is because I need to pull out another set of numbers because I wasn't planning ahead, and I already filled that black number 3. So it could be, I'm not gonna know until I start working on the painting whether I feel like, is this too full? In which case you don't necessarily have to abandon the system and be transferring all the time from one container to the next. You could just use the larger container. Now, there's not a lot of these, so you'd want to pick and choose the ones that are above. And so that's what made me pull out my gram scale. This is a scale it's like a jewelry scale, so it's meant to weigh really small things in grams, and it works great for, I've had it for a few years, and I was surprised the battery was still good because I hadn't used it in a while. But this works great to measure your containers and how much you're pouring. Now this is not necessary. This is Carrie being OCD and diamond painting snob. So this isn't necessary, but if you're that type of person to come up with, okay, this is how many grams are working for me, I like that. I like numbers. I like things that are measurable. So this is one option, not necessary, but you could do that. So right now I'm thinking it's no more than 5 grams in one of these containers is what I'm thinking. 3 feels good just looking at it, but we really won't know until we start working on paintings. It'll also depend on what, if your painting is color blocking or confetti. So a lot of you might not know that term, confetti, and it means that there's a lot of different colors in a small area in your painting, and so you're having to switch colors quite a bit. So yeah, so it depends on your painting as well. So those are factors to think about. Let's see if I can think of anything else. The stickers were real easy to put on, and they seem to be staying. The only thing that's going to drive me nuts is my perfectionism, my OCDism, and it's not perfect. So what I might do in the future is I might get stickers that are square, and it would be a little easier to line them up, and it wouldn't be so obvious that I am indeed imperfect. All right, so let's see, is there anything else I can think of? And if you guys have any questions about this process, let me know. It can be a little bit tedious, especially if it's a big diamond painting with a lot of colors. This was only 35, which is actually kind of on the smaller side. And my painting, we'll talk about my painting in a minute. Yeah. And then these nest and stack on your desk. Now, Carrie, what if I'm the kind of person I don't like to leave things out? I don't have a large area. I'm working off my dining room table, which is what I'm doing as well. So there's a couple of things you can do. There's the ArtDot cases, which I do not have one. But there are the ArtDot cases, and these do fit in there. They do fit. I don't have one, or I would show you. So what I have is, let's kind of push these diamonds trays off to the side. I do love this system. I just think that we need to think about the size of our bags and whether we need to use the larger case versus the smaller tray. They call them bricks. So let's try to use the right term. All right, so we've cleared some room. And so what I like to use are these photo boxes. Now, sadly, Joann's is gone. And I think I bought these at Joann's. But it's meant for a photo, to use as a photo box. It has this little label you can put on there. I like to use these. They're pretty. You can pick out different patterns. Now, Michael's is still very much with us. And I've heard people say that they're going to go out of business as well, but I don't think that's true because I've done some research and they've said that they're expanding. Not only are they not going to close, but they're expanding. So we don't need to worry about Michael's going away. Are they as good as Joann's? I don't know. It's kind of like comparing apples and oranges or Android and Apple. But there were things that I liked about Joann's, and there's things that I like about Michael's. So Michael's does have these boxes. You can also order them on Amazon, so it doesn't necessarily have to be a box store. And these are pretty cheap. You can usually get these on sale for around $4, maybe $5 if it's not on sale. Also, Hobby Lobby, that's another option as well. They may have some photo boxes. All right, so we'll open up this photo box, take the lid off, and these are really nice for storing your diamond supplies, diamond painting supplies, even if you're not using this system that I'm trying. So I originally was stacking them this way in here, and I had a lid come off, so, and I probably was user error, I probably didn't close it, but I think it would be best to stack them like this, and then when you want to use them, just pull them out of the box. It's not a perfect system. I'm still thinking on it. So you could just put them here, and they fit nicely that way. So we'll just put our paintings away. Now, if you want to be able to keep them in the box and grab them, you could put them on their sides. Just make absolute sure that that lid is closed. I think it's pretty secure. I mean, but maybe there was, I think what happened is I put too many standing up, and there was pressure, and you know how I said if you put a little thumb in there it releases the pressure? I think that might be what happened. But we'll just go ahead and stack these in here so you can see how they fit. Let's see. I'm kind of curious to see, they're not in order, but I'm curious to see how they fit in here if I stack them up like this. You could almost fit them with one row. I think I would stop there, and then these could go here. Yeah, I think it would be okay to stack them like this, and then you could grab them. Just don't squish too many in one row. And then just, you know me, I will make this more OCD, more in order, but yeah. So, and then when you want to diamond paint, you could pull them out. Or the other option, and then you'd have a little room to put like your kit and maybe your funnel, maybe your scale, the extra bags here. You know, maybe you got a pair of scissors. You know, different things like that, and you can store the whole kit in one box, and then maybe put a label in the front to what it is, and then your diamond painting you could store. We'll talk about that another time, but and then put the lid on, and you just pull it out when you're ready. Okay, so I'll take all this out. So we can explore the other option. I think it would be fine to store them like this. Just make sure those lids have clicked shut. And yeah, like this one, this one, oops. This one is open. I can see that so just make sure they click. Yeah, see, I spilled some. Do you see that? It's definitely safer to store them this way. Because if you do put too much pressure on it, those will pop open. So that would be the disadvantage to this system. But I think they're meant to be stored upright on a desk. So I'll go ahead and clean that up. What a bummer. So a good way to clean this up, it's kind of gross, but you lick your finger, it's wet, and then it sticks to your finger, and you just kind of push them off. So never lick someone else's drills, because you never know. You never know. All right. I really enjoy this hobby. I hope you guys enjoy this series. And then after we finish this diamond painting, I'll do another pull. And I have a few diamond paintings that I've ordered, and I'll give you guys the choice of which one to do next. This may become our Sunday fun day. We do have the Lego sets. I might squeeze those in a separate video, and then Sunday will be diamond painting day. It's good to get away from the electronics at least once a week, you guys, which isn't much, but in the evening, really, it would be good for you. It helps you sleep. Do something, and it doesn't have to be diamond painting. It could be anything you enjoy. All right, so I've answered my question. I cannot trust myself. So I will be stacking these like this. And that's the second time, you guys, that I have spilled from stacking them this way. So sadly, oh, I missed one. Well, we know which one it came out of. Sadly, oh, see, there's another one. Oh my goodness. Yeah. So that would be the drawback to this. Yeah, see, look at that. With the pressure, it opened. So we have to fix this one too. And it looks like it's this one also. So what? This is the lighter color. That's kind of a shame that it pops open easily, but it's the pressure. As long as you're not applying pressure to it, it's fine. And if it's upright, it's not going to spill out. So I guess that would be the con to this. But I still love the idea that you can store and use in the same container and not have to pour in your trays all the time. And then, oh, that's upside down. Make sure it clicks. Yeah, it's this lid. So some of the lids, you don't even have to put, yeah, some of the lids are a little loose. It could be from when I was pushing on them, but I'm not sure. So as long as you're okay with keeping them upright like this and nested in the box. So I think this would have to be a system that you keep on your desk while you're working on them at the very least. I wonder if the larger ones are as easy to spill. Okay, I think we're okay now. Yeah. I mean, they don't spill when you're like tossing them around, but if you apply, it's when you apply pressure to the lid that it slides open. So something to keep in mind. All right. So that's, our drills are organized. We're ready to start using them. Let's go ahead and put all our extra stuff in here because we are going to talk about the actual painting. There's still something to do with the actual painting. And it's a little scary, but we will get through it. Put my other stuff in here too. Some extra pins and stuff. And then all the little baggies, I mean, you can keep them, reuse them for something, or just toss them. All right, just put that lid on, and then I'll put it on a shelf in the closet. Okay, let's take a little drink of water. Yeah, these are kind of easy to open too, so that is the drawback to this set. So it'll just depend on how much I love storing them in the same container. I do love my ArtDot drawer system. I've used that before, so we could end up going back to that. All right, we're gonna do something scary here. Let's see, so if you've been around to my channel, you know that I worked on a lion diamond painting with you for quite a while, and it was a big boy. It was like 24 by 36. This painting is 40 by 50 or 50 by 40 in centimeters. So that works out to be about an 18 by 24, something like that. I got very overwhelmed with the larger size. Granted, the larger the size, the better the image is going to be. But if you don't have room to store that, or if you get burned out from being on the same painting, it might be a good idea to downsize. And I feel like the image from this company in this size is not bad. It's pretty good. You can tell what it is. But that's the deal. So the other problem I had is that it dried out. Now there is glue you can get to fix that. It's just, I've never done it before, a little intimidated by it. Might do it at some point. But what I found is that I did not have that problem when I used release paper. So, and I did a video on my other channel, speaking of which, I'll probably put a link to my other channel if you'd like to watch more videos like this. I'm not actively using that channel. I'm trying to merge the two so that this is just a variety channel, because it's just too much work it's really hard to keep up with two channels. So this is thin paper, and it's wax paper. It's kind of like, and you could use the backs of sticker paper. It's basically a thinner version of this paper. So yeah, so we're going to use that, and I have a few different, I bought this pack for like $10 on Amazon. Whew, and they are slippery. And there's a few different sizes in there. So what we're going to do, and I think I need to zoom out just a little bit more. A little more there. I think you can see pretty close to everything. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this plastic off. You heard me. And it's protecting the stickiness. This canvas is sticky on this side, and that's how we're able to stick the drills or diamonds to the canvas. But we're going to use release paper instead of this. And I've done it before, and I really liked it. And you've got these weird crinkles in here. It's hard to keep it straight. So we're just going to pull, and I have been trying to relax this painting. It's got some ripple to it. They wound it really tight. That would be my one complaint with this company, is that they wound the painting really tight, and now there's bends in it, but it will relax eventually. So we're just carefully peeling that all the way off, and we're actually going to discard this. I'm going to discard it. Oh wow. Oh my goodness. It does not want to. think I got the wrong side stuck to it, and now it really doesn't want to come off of here. Okay. Well, this is another complaint. Wow. Is it? Oh, this is going to be sad if I can't use this painting. After all this work, there's something wrong with the plastic. It's not supposed to do this. Okay, I got that. Okay, we're getting it. But I sure hope that the glue isn't damaged there. Going slow. I'm trying not to touch the sticky part. I don't know what happened here. Maybe they glued it too much. Because this should just peel right off. Preferably this way. I'm not sure it's fair. Wow. Well, it's off. It is off. Is it damaged? That's the question. I think it was overly sticky. Yeah, they didn't do a very good job with, oh wow. Yeah, the glue is not consistent here. Well, I think it'll be okay. I might start in that corner. Yeah, I think it's okay. It's sticky. It's extra sticky. There's nowhere where it's not sticky, so I think it's okay. Man, well, I'm glad I took that off now, so I know. All right, so I'm gonna do these 6x6 pieces of release paper. And it's kind of like, this is the sticker back. So if you want to use smaller sizes and smaller sections, you can cut this with just some regular scissors. I think for now I'll just use this size. Okay, so you want the edge to overlap the painting so that you can work on each section one at a time. So as you can see, I've got it up here and over the side, and then just press that down. Press that down, and then we'll overlap about an inch or so, give or take, ½ inch even. Just press down, and you can kind of flatten out the painting that way too. Okay, and just keep going across, overlapping at the top above the painting and on the over the previous release paper, and then over here. That. And then second row overlapping. Oh, that's not overlapping the edge. So we need to overlap the edge and to this last release paper so that on top of it, kind of like a dominoes. So same thing here, and then just press that down. And you're not hurting the glue at all. In fact, you're protecting it. Now this is another extra step. It's not required. It costs me more money, but this release paper can be reused, and you get a big stack of like 200 for 10 bucks. This is me being OCD and wanting a better experience. So I'm about the journey, not the destination. So really not required, but this is an option that you can do that will improve your experience here. Okay, and then with that down, you can kind of press out the wrinkles in the painting if you have them. Now, one thing to keep in mind is, where do you want to start on this painting? I want to start in this corner, so I started in this opposite corner here, and then because this is on top of the other release paper, we're overlapping it on top of the previous sheet. Oh, this isn't coming down very low, I think, on this edge, so let's redo this one. So overlapping on both sides, but just, I maybe should have did a little bit less overlap on the others so that it would line up well, but oh well, it works. So you only really need just that little bit overlapped to keep it from coming up. You can kind of press on that. I do have smaller sheets too, if it doesn't work out and you need smaller versions. Okay, here's this one. Or you need to do more rows. Or like I said, if you want to work on smaller sections, and there's definitely an option. Okay, so my last one, I'm going to put right here. Overlapping all sides. And there's a couple of things you can do to keep your painting nice and not get wrinkled. You could hang, I think when you first buy it, before you start putting drills on it, you can hang it with a pants clothesliner, the kind that kind of closes, you know, snaps together, or has clips, where you'd hang your pants or a skirt or something like that. You can use that to hang it when you first get it, but then once you start putting drills on it, it gets a little heavy, and that could work, but that makes me a little nervous. So you could store it in a folder, or a large folder that you can get Hobby Lobby, or a binder, or under your bed. You could get the foam board from a craft store or Target, and put it in between those to protect it, and then slide it underneath your bed. Those are some options, or you can leave it out. So it just depends on your dynamic. All right, so what's the purpose of this? All right, so this is what you do. You start in this corner, and you can peel this back. You could take it off, and then it reduces your working area to this corner. And so you would just do diamond painting in this corner, and it's less overwhelming that way. So you just concentrate on that one section, and when you're done, or even before you're done with that section, you put this back over, but when you're done working on it, put that back over. It doesn't pull the glue up, and it protects it. So another thing that I could show you is something that they sell, and my my Animal Crossing people will love this. So this is a magnet. It's on Anka. Anka? I think that's her name. She's so funny. And then it has a magnet glued to the back and then a magnet on the outside. And so how you use these in diamond painting is you could peel this up halfway, and so you'd only have half to work with. You put the magnet on top and the piece, the backing behind it, and it holds that in place and out of your way. And you have a little cute character there. I have a few of them. You start to collect them after a while. But like I've got, this is one of my favorites, is this one right here, the little kitties. And you get freebies sometime. I think this was a freebie, Garfield. And this is something else. It's just a magnet. Here is Marshall. Here's a little kitty that reminded me of Alex, and it's made out of wood. And I got all this off of Etsy, but I'm sure there's other places too that sell them. I have this little bee, but I think I lost the backing on it. And this little flower. Some of these were freebies, like I said. Cats and coffee. Isn't that perfect? That's pretty cute. And Starbucks symbol. So that's another option you can do. You can get, well, what you do is you take a pin. This is a fancy one that I bought for like 20 bucks on Amazon, and it has different, I just like it, and it's more comfortable than the ones in the kit. This is another extra that you can make it more expensive, but you don't have to. So what you do is you take that glue that came in the kit. Let's see, where's the kit at? You take this glue, this pink glue here, and you stick it, and the glue goes inside this little hole here and at the edge, and then you pick up the drill and you stick it onto there. It's that easy. So the reason I mention that is another thing you can do are get these glue dots. Instead of using the wax, it has a little piece of glue on the tape. Let's see, and I do actually like these, but has a little bit of glue there, and you can stick that, and it's a lot more stickier than the wax. So just depends on what you prefer. So that's what that is. I think that's it. That's how to set up your diamond painting and kit it up. Now, do you have to kit it up? No, you don't have to. I find it more enjoyable if everything is already there and prepped and ready to go. Let me take Anka off here. And press that down. And push the wrinkles out here. Go in one direction because they're overlapped. Yeah. So that's how to kit up the painting. Prep the painting with release paper. So we'll just set that off to the side. Zoom in. And I can talk. Okay, so thanks for hanging out with me today and kitting up my butterfly diamond painting from Diamond Painting Pro. And we enjoyed some coffee together and got some of the left brain going. And it was very relaxing and fun to show you all of that. So be sure and check me out next Sunday, Sunday, as we start painting. We are going to actually start painting, you guys. So super excited, and I will see you on the flip side.